Your weekend on Spectrum News 1 begins with fallout of airstrikes in the Middle East. The U.S. military confirming that 3 U.S. service members were killed in the Iran operation and even more are injured. Well, good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Imani Payne. The world continuing to respond to the attacks that killed Iran's supreme leader. Tonight, we're digging deeper into what the future holds for the Middle East nation, plus how our country's leaders are responding to the deaths of U.S. military members. And
this is a challenging day for our community, a challenging day for the region.
Cincinnati city leaders addressing violence after several people were injured in a mass shooting overnight. Ahead, the latest on the plan to stop violent acts in Southwest Ohio. And taking a live look over downtown Columbus before storms move in for the work week, you're going to want to grab your umbrellas. Coming up, our Spectrum News meteorologists break down what to expect before rain makes its way to us. But first, continuing our coverage of the Iran missile strikes, the U.S. Central Command confirming 3 U.S. service members are dead and 5 seriously injured as part of Operation Epic Fury. Iran is vowing to avenge the death of its supreme leader after he was killed alongside other top Iranian officials in the strikes. President Donald Trump says the strikes will continue at least through this week. Our Daniel Grimes reports from Washington.
And I do not make this statement lightly.
At least 20 people are dead and more than 100 injured after violent protests broke out in Pakistan following U.S. and Israel strikes on Iran. I'll take a look at this video. These are protesters storming the U.S. consulate in Pakistan hours after those strikes. And you can see people breaking through security barricades and even some beating on windows with sticks. Pakistan's interior minister calling for peaceful protests, urging people to not take the law into their own hands. In Austin, Texas, the FBI investigating after a deadly mass shooting. It was a potential act of terrorism. 3 people are dead and more than a dozen hurt following a shooting along a popular strip of bars and restaurants in the city's entertainment district. The chief of police say a man driving near the bar put his SUV flashers on, rolled down his window and began shooting with a pistol. Investigators say the man then got out of his car with a rifle and started shooting again. Officers then shot and killed him. Officials now stepping up patrols in the area. Now back here in Ohio, an investigation is underway after 9 people were injured in a mass shooting in Cincinnati. City officials calling it one of the largest mass shooting incidents in the city's history. That shooting taking place at the Riverfront Live music venue late last night. The venue is right on the Ohio River in the city's east end. Now the shooting comes as officials continue to address violence in the city. Our Javari Burnett joining us now live after officials address the ongoing violence and community concern in a press conference this afternoon. But first, Javari, can you break down exactly what officials say happened here?
Yeah, Imani, what started as a birthday celebration for one DJ quickly turned chaotic.
Now, Javari, we've been following the city's response to violence in the city for nearly a year now, and previously officials were targeting areas like downtown and over the Rhine. But where are they focusing their efforts now?
Yeah, now this is just the latest in a string of shootings across the city. Violence that has led to at least one downtown building. Yeah, now again, this is an ongoing investigation, and as police release details, we'll bring those to you. I'm Javari Burnett, Spectrum News.
Okay, our Javari Burnett continuing to follow that violence in Cincinnati. We know you'll stay on top of it. Thank you for that report. The public safety issues in the city leading to a change in leadership for the police department. Adam Henney, the city's interim chief, took over for the previous chief, Teresa Thigi, who's been on paid leave for months following an internal review of her leadership. The city extending the length of that investigation at least through the end of March. Thigi has been chief for the past 3 years and is the first woman to hold the position in the department's history. Her attorney sending us a statement calling the city's investigation a political stunt. We will have more updates on these stories online. You can find us at SpectrumNews1.com or on your Spectrum News app, where the latest news and weather are always at your fingertips. And we're also keeping an eye on the weather. Signs of spring are popping up in central Ohio. You can see some new flowers there sprouting up following a very sunny weekend. But I'm told that sunshine isn't going to last. Meteorologist Joe Astolfi is joining us now. So Joe, what can we expect as we enter the work week?
Well, hey there, Imani. We've got one more dose of some wintry weather to touch on. That'll mainly impact areas of southern Ohio. We're going to be measuring rainfall by the inch in most areas of the state. So we'll be keeping a watchful eye on that wet weather as the week wears on.
All right, so it's time to bring out the umbrella and the rain boots. All right,
Oh, yeah.
Joe, thank you so much. Plus, immigration law in the U.S. changing drastically since Trump took office last year. Coming up next, we break down those changes and take a look at what migrants can expect in the future.
Clock. This check of the time presented by Spectrum.
I'm Imani Payne, and here's your Spectrum News in 90. Jewish Columbus releasing a statement following the Trump administration's recent operation in Iran, expressing support for the Israel Defense Forces and the American service members deployed across the Middle East, as well as solidarity with the Iranian people, saying in part, "We are deeply grateful for the courage and sacrifice of the men and women of the United States Armed Forces and its allies, and we stand with them and their families during a dangerous and uncertain moment." For decades, the Iranian regime has been the leading state sponsor of terrorism, directly and indirectly empowering proxies that have targeted the United States and our allies and innocent civilians across the region. More bike lanes are coming to Columbus in the city's annual Bike Plus report. They detailed several ongoing construction projects related to new bike lane developments. Among the highlights are a buffered bike lane being added in each direction between Hudson Street and North Broadway, protections added to the North 4th Street bike lane, and a 2-mile bike lane added to Freebus Avenue. Columbus area Representative Joyce Beatty introducing bipartisan legislation honoring the life of Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams Early. Adams Early was the first African-American officer in the U.S. Women's Army Corps.